friends, the stalker of Nobel Prize for Peace, Donald Trump, has slapped 50% tariff on Indian goods. Of course, now 20% has come into effect and the remaining is, he said, in the month end, but I don't think that will happen the way things are moving now. The highest tariff the US has ever placed on any major trading partner. But the real question is, who is going to suffer the most here? America, India, or the whole world? August 2025, one announcement shook everything. The US declared a 50% tariff on Indian imports, and not in one go. It came in two back-to-back hikes of 25% each. Of course, second one, in my view, may not take place. Let us wait and see. But why did Trump suddenly make such a drastic move? Reasons stated by Trump. First, India continues to buy oil from Russia. The US has been trying hard to isolate Moscow after the Ukraine war, but India kept going on its own way. So Washington said, if you won't listen, we will force you, and raise tariffs. But the point here is that US itself imports a variety of goods from Russia, including fertilizers, palladium for EV sector, that is electric vehicle sector, and uranium for nuclear program. The second, India has refused to open certain sectors to American business, especially agriculture and dairy. On top of that, the US trade deficit with India reached 45.7 billion in 2024. All of this combinedly sparked Trump's anger, a man who is unpredictable. But here is the catch. The USA is not comfortable that India continues to have trade surplus. As for dairy, in US, the cows are fed with fats of pigs and other animals in their fodder because they rear cows not just for milk but for meat also. That is why they put all non-veg items in their cow feed. Okay, but Indian dairy and agriculture need to be protected apart from the emotional issues of non-vegetarian milk products because cows are fed with all fats of pig and other animals. Okay, how does this tariff hit India? Out of $87 billion worth of goods India exports to the US, more than half may now lose competitiveness. The key sectors hit include textiles, apparels, jewelry, footwear, auto components, ceramics, glassware, paper, furniture, and dairy. But the small and medium industries, especially the textiles and leather, may bleed the most. Layoffs and factory closures may also happen. But not everything is taxed by America. Take the case of pharmaceuticals, IT services, semiconductors, energy, and critical minerals. They are all exempt in the recent tariff things and all, simply because the US itself needs them. So they are very clever in their approach also. What is a short-term shock? Exports might fall by $4 to $5 billion immediately. India's GDP may also shrink by about 0.5%, that is 0.5, less than 1%. Job losses and distress among small manufacturers may happen. But long-term perspective, India will diversify away from the US market and find new trading partners. Tariff-hit industries may also climb up the value chain, producing high-end goods. The government's Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is self-reliance India, that push will accelerate indigenous manufacturing. Thus, we should convert this situation into an opportunity by promoting indigenous production and consumption, apart from looking for other markets in the world. The US risks losing India's goodwill, which could push New Delhi closer to blocs like BRICS. It also shows how weak the WTO has become in handling modern trade disputes. making bilateral deals the future. How is it that India is responding? India has openly called the US move unfair, unjustified, and unreasonable. New Delhi says securing its energy needs for 1.4 billion people, that is something like 140 crore people, is its sovereign right. It also points out Western hypocrisy, since the US and the European Union still trade with Russia for essentials while pressuring India to stop. But India is not rushing into retaliation. Instead, it's negotiating diplomatically, supporting domestic industries, and diversifying export markets. The idea is don't escalate, but don't surrender either. Bottom line, the US has tried to strong arm India with tariffs, but short term, yes, it may hurt India's exports and exporters to some extent, but in the long term, this will actually strengthen India, making it less dependent and more resilient. So this is less of a defeat and more of a test. And the world is watching closely to see who comes out stronger. Certainly, India will come out stronger. Take it from me. The Indian government's response so far has been measured and appropriate, avoiding rhetorics. Let's hope for the best. Joke for the day. An Indian exporter went to Trump and said, "Sir, with a 50% tariff, all our profits are gone." Trump replied, "Exactly, that is why you should start making it from America." The exporter laughed, "Sir, if I make in America, who is going to buy it?" Because the cost of production in America is huge always. Namaskar.